Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and in this video I want to talk about something that I think sparked some controversy last week. I did a video on the top 5 fish you should not be breeding in 2025, but actually that wasn't the controversy at all. I got a number of comments, not about the video, but about the thumbnail. This is the thumbnail. Thought it was kind of cool. I really don't have any surprised looking fish in my fish room, so I'm like, okay, let me go ahead, go on the internet and generate this thumbnail. The problem is it's AI generated, artificial intelligence. And a number of you commented and said, love the video, hate the thumbnail. And I know there was a lot of strong opinions there. And so I wanted today to talk about how is AI going to impact fish keeping. I think number one is you're already seeing it start to crop up all over YouTube, not just in fish keeping, but in other realms as well, other subject areas. You're getting thumbnails that are constantly being generated by AI. And the question I have for you down in the comments section below is, what do you think AI is going to do to fish keeping? And will you watch videos that you think are generated by AI? This is really important information. This is going to be one of these videos. I don't have a ton of B-roll. It's just going to be talking. So if you just want to put the phone down, the computer aside, and just listen, maybe it will spark some ideas in your head. Would love to hear from you though. One of the things that I know when I look at YouTube is if I click on a video and I immediately hear that robotic voice, I don't see a real person, I generally click off right away. And so when it comes to AI, I'm very curious, is that the way that you feel as well? Will you watch a video that is generated by AI? Now clearly, a lot of you had a strong opinion about the thumbnail that I used that was AI generated. I, for one, when I'm looking at videos, I don't mind the AI generated thumbnail as long as there is a real person on the other end of that camera once I click on the video. So question number one is, do you feel like if you see an AI generated thumbnail, are you less likely to actually even watch a video, assuming that the rest of the video is just going to be computer generated? I think one of the things that we have to consider beyond that is whether or not the information that is generated from AI content is reliable. After all, what is AI doing? It's taking bits and pieces of information that it is found on the internet, which is generally brought there by people, it's produced by people, and then putting that all together and giving you an answer. Whether you Google something, whether you're watching a video, that's generally the way it works. And so the AI is only going to be as good as the people who are putting in the information. Essentially what AI is doing in these videos is it's aggregating data and it's giving it back to you. And so the real question is AI actually offering anything new, or is it just making it a little bit easier to find information and put it together in a package that makes it easier to understand? Now here's the bigger thing when it relates to fish keeping in particular. If there are enough AI generated videos, will it actually stop people from sharing their experiences? And so will it stop people from breeding fish and actually sharing that on YouTube? I don't think it'll stop people from breeding fish, but will it stop people from sharing it on the internet so that AI actually, in a sense, destroys the very thing it is trying to enhance? Because after all, AI cannot figure out anything on its own. It always needs a human input. In the end, it needs people to experience things. And so what would you rather watch? Would you rather watch a video that is, even if the voice is very human sounding, even if the video looks relatively real, would you rather watch that, or would you rather watch a real person with real experience, trial and error, share their experiences, whether it's fish keeping or anything else? One of the big things for me, and I'm sure a lot of you have experienced in fish keeping, is the nuance that goes into fish keeping, that not everybody is going to have the same result, even if they set up tanks in a very similar way. I don't think, at least certainly not now, and maybe not in the future, I don't know if AI is going to have the ability to understand that nuance, to understand, okay, in a 75-gallon aquarium, I added some Buenos Aires tetras. And then I added in a bunch of Mbuna, and man, oh man, did that really work out well. Even though the fish don't come from the same areas of the world, it was just a great combination. However, you have somebody else who does the exact same combination, but they switch the order. They add the Mbuna first, let them grow up full grown, and then they add small Buenos Aires tetras, and they absolutely get annihilated in that aquarium. And so that's one of the things as human beings that we can work through, we can understand, but there are countless examples when it comes to plants, when it comes to substrate, when it comes to water parameters, where there is some nuance involved, and it takes a lot of experience to understand why something maybe works well for one person and doesn't work well for another. Here's the really interesting thing, and something I think about a lot, again, not just concerning fish keeping, but just entertainment, education in general. Will AI get to a point where you can actually watch a person that isn't even real? So a person that's not real, providing you information that they didn't discover on their own, using images that were generated from a computer and not even actually based in reality. If we get to that point, how do we know that we can actually trust what's on the other side of our screen? And then how would you feel from a creative perspective if you're watching aquariums that were AI generated that have no basis in reality, and so they look immaculate, they look perfect, perfectly aquascape. You've got all these fish together and they are getting along great and everything looks wonderful, only to discover later on that there really isn't a realistic way to reproduce what you're seeing. One of the more interesting things I've seen lately is I had a friend who actually took one of my videos, dumped it into an AI program, and that AI program spit out a podcast, two people talking about the information that I shared in that video, talking about me, and somehow this AI program knew a lot about me in a scary sort of way, more so than what was just in that video, took that video, produced some content from that, something I never did. So again, I'm just really curious from your perspective, what do you think? Do you think AI has a place in fish keeping? Do you think it's going to cause more problems than it's worth? Is it going to be trustworthy? Is it something that you're drawn to? Do you think it's going to give you the information that you need to be a better fish keeper? Are you going to be able to get that connection with a human being, with a creator, with a community? What if the community itself is AI generated? We're seeing that all the time now. If you go to YouTube, you're going to see a whole bunch of bots in there leaving comments, and then those bots are responding to the bots that left the original comment. And pretty soon you've got 67 replies on a comment itself. It becomes a fake area. It becomes a fake social media platform. Again, these are just some things to think about as we move forward. How will AI impact the hobby itself? Again, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week.